Ah, Pokémon. It holds a special place in all of our hearts, which makes it the perfect place to learn about the scientific method. And in the immortal words of Professor Oak, you'll learn more from experience. So, in order to understand the scientific method, let's do an experiment. A largely unnecessary experiment that's barely more than an excuse to play some good old Pokémon FireRed. But Oak was right about this. Let's just go ahead and do some science. Well, my brand new little buddy Billy sure loves battling, and he loves winning even more. But he's gone and learned nothing but fire moves, so he's not always very good at it. So, how about we try and decide when to use Billy, and when to leave him at home? Let's simplify that even further. What Pokemon types are fire moves super effective against? Now that we have a question, we can pose a hypothesis, which is just what we think will happen. Alright? I think Billy will be super effective against grass and ice. We'll leave it at that for now. We don't need to know all the answers before we've even started. Okay, so now we have to come up with a method, a plan of attack. Essentially, I'm going to get Billy to hit things. I'm going to get Billy to hit a lot of things. I could get him to just hit a grass type and an ice type, and say my hypothesis is correct or incorrect. But that's not really the scientific method. That's terrible science. We have to try and hit everything, and cut down on as many variables as we can. For example, if we take a look at my little chart here, we need to be thinking about multi-types, so the second type is a variable which we can try to eliminate. There, gone. We'll just hit single-type Pokemon. But wait, some types don't have a single-type Pokemon. Alright, bring back the second column. We can still do our best to minimize this variable though. It didn't take me long to figure out that normal types are neutral to fire. So we can technically use Pidgey to test flying, because its second type is normal, which we now know is neutral. So as long as we stick to neutral elements in the second column, we'll be alright. Now, we just start taking names, filling out our spreadsheet. Then we end up with this, a big table of results. Useful, but there's still one important step left, which is to draw some actual conclusions. This is just raw data, just results. We can pull some actual information from this data. Okay, my hypothesis was right. Ice and grass are weak to fire, but so are steel and bug. Also, we didn't set out looking for this necessarily, but we also found a bunch of types that Billy isn't very effective against. So it's important to note those as well. Although they weren't part of our simplified question at the beginning, they are part of the relevant information that we've discovered during this experiment. Sometimes what you find isn't always exactly what you set out to look for in the beginning. So there, now we know exactly when and where to send out little Billy. Would have been helpful to know before playing through the game, but alas, such is the struggle of science. And that was a quick little example of how the scientific method works in practice. From posing a hypothesis, to planning out a method, to drawing our final conclusions. Thanks for watching. If you have any suggestions for other concepts or games you might like to see covered, let me know in the comments below.